Now we'll finish this question. At this point, remember, we have found our net force and we want to find now our acceleration and the distance it travels. I'm almost there on the acceleration. To find the acceleration, I just have to now think about Newton's second law, because Newton's second law is that the net force, which we already know because we just found it, is equal to the mass, which they gave me in the question, times the acceleration. So if I know the net force is negative 3822 and the mass is 1.50, I can find the acceleration. Now you'll notice I'll get a negative acceleration because I made my net force negative. But that makes sense. The net force should be negative because it is slowing down, and the acceleration should be negative for the exact same reason. So I end up with negative 2.548. That'll be meters per second squared because it is acceleration. Second squared, sorry about my messiness. And I need to change this to have the right sig figs. I only get 2 because I did use the 9.8 and my coefficient of friction was also 2 digits. So 2.5 is what I'm going to end up with, meters per second squared. That's my first thing that will go in my therefore sentence. The next thing I need to think about is my distance. It wants to know how far did it travel. But I know other things. I know that V2 is 0 because it slides to a stop. I also know from the question way up here that it started at 3.10 meters per second. So I know V1. What does that mean to find my distance? Oh yes, our friend, the kinematics equations. I know you thought they went away. They have not. So I can use V2 squared equals V1 squared plus 2AD, and this will let me solve for my distance or displacement. So 0 is my final velocity. There is my first velocity. Don't forget the negative on your acceleration because otherwise you'd get a negative distance and it didn't turn around. I'm going to solve for this. You can solve this by simplifying in several steps. I'm going to do it all in one step, but that's because I'm feeling fancy today. And I got a distance of 1.9 meters. Now you should always think about whether your numbers make sense, right? Does that make sense? So yes, it does, right? It makes sense that it would slow down that, or would cover, sorry, that much distance as it slows down, right? It's not a ridiculous amount to slide a box. It shouldn't be. This also means I'm ready to write my therefore sentence, and my question is finished.